I can be hyper focused. When I want something or I set a goal, my process is I will set goals and then I will like tell everyone. Like I am pretty open about what I want to do.
Yeah.
And if I do that, like it has to happen. That is going to happen. I will figure that out. So maybe it's like problem solver is my strength. Like I will sort out how to make this thing happen, whatever it takes.
Welcome to a private conversation with me, Steve Robbins. I'm sitting down with some of the biggest names in Indianapolis real estate. I've enjoyed these conversations immensely, and I hope you will too. A big thank you to Executive GM Ian Soroyan and his whole team for hosting us at Cunningham Restaurant Group's Commission Row and Mel Speakeasy, located in downtown Indianapolis within the Pacer Sports and Entertainment Complex. Check out the show notes to learn more.
Hey guys, today I'm sitting down with a former High Gardener and now the co-owner of Live Indy Realty, Kyle Gatesy. But first, I'd like to ask you, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the show, like, something resonates, make a comment below. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, do me a favor and follow the show. Thanks so much, and now my conversation with Kyle Gatesy. So you're the first person that I've sat down with outside of my former business partner, Alan Williams, who's a former High Garden agent.
Yes.
And so that's cool. And what's really cool is, and something that I think I've said on here before, is I've talked with people that have even sometimes expressed frustration over losing people that have worked with them, and how you put your time and effort and blood, sweat, and tears into someone, and when then they walk away, how much it hurts. Yeah. And I have to admit, over the years, that I've had plenty of pain in that regard. But one thing that's changed for me over the years, thankfully, is that I'm actually really excited to see when people have left the nest and taken off and spread their wings. You're a great example of that. And what year did you get your license in? 2020?
So I got my license April 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you didn't start with us, but you started with Trent Whittington, another guy we both know and respect.
Yes.
And then you joined us. Tell me a little bit about making the decision to get your real estate license, how you started with Trent. And I know you were a physical therapist prior to this, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So that whole story started at the middle of 2019. I was in a lot of pain. I'd been a physical therapist for about 7 years at that time, and I was just completely burnt. Like I was just like, I can't do this for 20 more years. Like there's no way. Like I put so much blood, sweat, and tears into that business, and realized like I'm going nowhere. Like this is kind of where I am. Like I was making good money. Like I was making over 6 figures with bonuses, like managing a bunch of people, treating a bunch of patients, but I never saw my kids, like literally 7 to 7 on a couple days. You know, I'd go up on weekends to like train and do like educational seminars, and I was just like, it was not good.
Physically or mentally, emotionally?
Both.
All of it?
All of it. Like literally at the end of my day, I'd come home and I'd be like, I didn't even want to talk to Courtney. I'm like, this is horrible, right? Like, cause you're just like, it sucked all my energy out. Like all these people I'm in front of, I need to pay attention to and listen to and set their goals, and they're hurting. They don't want to be there. They don't want to, you know, they're in a spot in life where it's just, and it takes a very special person to do that. And on top of it, I'm managing, 20 plus people. Like it just wasn't what I should have been doing. And I'm like, and I had my 3rd kid on the way. So Theo was due like May of 2020. And I'm like, if I don't do something, like I may never do it. So like the pain was just outweighing my current situation, and I needed to like figure it out. So it's funny you mentioned Trent, like, so he was my agent and he's a good friend of mine, and he sent me a postcard with like him and Maggie, like, we sold 20 million this year or whatever it was. And at that moment I was like, really? I started doing the math, and I'm like, that sounds pretty good. Like Trent seems really happy. Like maybe I could do that. And so I reached out to Trent. I think it was like December of 2019. And I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about this. He's like, yeah, you need to do this. He's like, I just bought into brokerage. It was called Rise Real Estate in Brownsburg. He's like, oh, dude, come work with me. Like, I'll do it. And so at that moment, I finally had like clarity of the vision I wanted. I was like, okay, like Trent could do this. Here's what he's telling me. Like, I know I could do that. So I started getting my license. And then like COVID hit. So it got pushed out a little bit and finally got to take my test, passed my test, and started selling. So I was just double timing for about 18 months.
That was probably hard.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it was already hard enough when you were doing it without doing real estate on top of it.
It was hard, but I was so confident that this was the path. Like nothing else mattered.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is what
And you
I'm-
saw a light at the end of the tunnel for what you wanted to maybe do. No?
Kind of.
Okay,
Kind of. I
okay.
would like finally my wife Courtney, like she snapped me out of it. She's like, it was like in May of 21 and she's like, what's the plan? Like you can't double time forever. Like, are you gonna jump or not? And so at that moment I was like, okay, I can't drive to Brownsburg every day forever. And so at that time I was like, hey, maybe we could have an office more centrally. And at that time that group wasn't open to it. They were kind of in the process of selling to at property. And I was like, you know what? I need somewhere close to home. I need somewhere close to home. And that's when Trent, referred me to you guys, and it seemed like a good fit to start out. So, but yeah, that's kind of part of the story of how I got in. Was just I was hurting and I needed a change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so. Yeah, I hadn't really thought too much. I mean, I have, I guess, in the past, but just sitting here thinking about how much you have to pour into people that are actually in pain, and how you have to be their cheerleader and their coach, and you always have to be up.
Oh yeah.
Now, a lot of that translates into real estate,
It
particularly
does.
when you're with your clients. They can get frustrated, but now that you're leading people, talk a little bit about your transition from being an agent with us to running your own show.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it does translate. Like, and I think that's what got me going fast. Was one of my superpowers, so to speak, is I like to listen. Like I really like to listen to what people say, and hear what they're saying, and like make sure we're hitting the goals they want to hit. And the cool thing about real estate is like most of the time it's fun. There's death and divorce, but like most of the time you're working with folks that want to do something exciting and could be the biggest purchase of their life. And so I really took to that. Like I got energy from that. And when I was first getting into the business, like I made a point to try to talk to as many agents that were ahead of me, like far ahead of me as possible. And every single one that I talked to told me, they're like, I wish I would have bought one house a year when I was in business. And that kind of clicked for me. My family does a little bit of investing, like not my immediate family, but like my grandparents and my uncles, they do some real estate investing. And so then when I heard that, I was like, oh, great. Like if I could like start that now, I'm the sole provider for my family. I'm like, if I can maybe do some investing now, put that money in a place where it feels safe and I'm maybe cash flowing, like that's going to set me up to a point where I don't need any commission ever. Like, and I never wanted anyone I talked to feel like I needed anything from them, right? And especially as I was going, because everyone knew me as the medical guy. Like I'd go to Christmas and Thanksgiving and everyone would talk to me about their knee pain and back pain and like, so like, changing that persona from not just my family, but like everyone I knew was a big deal to me. And I never wanted anyone to feel like I needed something. So that's what I did. So my target market was basically investors, Zillow, and my sphere. And that's how I kind of went into the real estate market. And then in terms of like the transition from High Garden to kind of doing my own thing. When I left High Garden, I didn't have like a desire to like build a team at the time. I saw residual income opportunities. And that's where in this business it's awesome because there's so many lines of business that you can get into in real estate, not just brokerage. And I felt like I had done pretty well in brokerage for a couple of years, and I didn't know what I didn't know. Like those were like 2 of the best years ever to be in brokerage.
Yeah.
No one told me that, but I was just in it and doing it, and I was like, okay, this seems pretty good. I bet I can keep doing it. And then so I went to EXP. The culture there was great. I was in an office where there was agents below me at the same level as me and like 1 or 2 steps ahead of me. And that's where I want to be at like every point in my career is like, I want to be close to mentors, right? That are under me, where I am and where I want to be. And so it was great because I had like direct access to that. Like I go in, there's a bullpen, it's full. I can go in to other offices where it's like, hey, yeah, let's talk shop as much as possible. And I just believed in the model of EXP. That's what really got me there was like, hey, there's an opportunity here. If I do spend time and I want to do it, like I could potentially build some residual incomes as well, just by bringing people to the company. And then the cool part is the people that brought me to the company have a direct financial incentive in my career. And so it's like, I want to do that for people I bring over. So it's almost like I was running a team sort of when I brought people over, but it wasn't like, there was no like capital requirements.
Right.
You didn't have to have a bunch of resources. You just need to give some time. I was like, that's perfect for now.
We'll talk about how Live Indy came to be then.
Yeah. So Jared Cowan was in that office. He came over right around the same time. And this guy was like just crushing it. And so, obviously I want to talk to him. And he had a mindset of like, he was working with some flippers,
Okay.
which I had never done. But he also was very interested in the investment space. So that's where we really connected was like, oh, hey, you have this many doors? How did you do that? And so I would tell him that. And he's like, hey, I'm working on this project. Like, what do you think? So we would like underwrite together and talk through things and find deals together. And he actually started a team himself. And I just like hired an assistant. I was like, hey, that's all I need right now. So, I kind of watched him and he watched me and eventually his team kind of fizzled. Too much going on. And at that time I was like, hey, maybe we could just do this together. Like maybe it makes sense because we're selling a lot. It'd be nice to just divide and conquer. And, I think we could attract, like we're both doing enough business where potentially we could hand leads off or we could spend more on Zillow or give expired lead opportunities or whatever. And we can like combine our resources because like when you do the math to start a team, like it's not cheap. Like
No.
it's not. So we kind of looked at it that way. We're like, hey, this could be a good thing for us if we just go at it together. He's really good with numbers, like financial side. Like I love talking to people and connecting. And I love training because I did that in my previous life.
Yeah.
Like I did a residency in Madison, Wisconsin, and part of that was like teaching physical therapy students. Part of it was working, right? So it was kind of a combined thing. And so that's kind of how we split it up now. It's like I do a lot of the trainings, he does a lot of the financial work, and we put our heads together like to build it out.
So you were the medical guy at all these events, family, Thanksgiving, whatever. Now you're the real estate guy. How has that changed? Are you still fielding these medical questions?
I have very good referrals for these folks.
Good.
Yeah, I really, I am so removed from it now that it'd be dangerous to work with me on medical side. Like I've got my physical therapist that I
Right.
work with, like
But are you getting hammered with real estate questions left and right now?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, everybody wants to talk about real estate. It's an easy
Exactly.
thing to talk about.
And I love talking about it. I could talk shop all day. So, so that's good. It took maybe 3 years to really like fully transform into that different persona.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm so happy I did it because like when you go in I have so much respect for the medical field, like nurses, doctors, physical therapists. Like I went to my 10-year reunion for physical therapy school. And there was probably like most people showed. Like I think we had 45-ish in the class and like maybe 35 came. Like it was a pretty good turnout. I talked to every single person there and every single one was like, how did you do it? Like, how did you get out? Like, I've got 3 more years to pay off my loans and then I'm going to do something. And I'm like, it's not an easy path. You know, it seems like an easy path. And like, same thing on the doctor end too. I know a lot of doctors that are just like slammed.
Yeah.
Right. And the worst part is when you're in undergrad. And I don't think a lot of people know this, but like this happened to me where it's competitive to like get in. So if you're messing around in undergrad, like you're not going to get into school.
Right.
So I was in this point where I'm like, I am like so focused on like getting into school that I just like let a lot of my friend connections like go. Like I didn't put any energy into them.
Have you been able to rekindle them?
That's been the best part about this whole change is like, and that's kind of what really pumped me forward was like, now I have an opportunity to reconnect with all the people that I just like kind of forgot about almost. And I get to help them or add value to their lives in some way and rekindle some of those relationships. So that's been like amazing.
What part of you wishes you would have just started real estate from the beginning and skipped the whole school
all of
part?
it.
Really? I mean, there's still good experiences.
Yeah.
I hear you though. You could have had a 4-year or whatever your 5-year head start.
At least.
At least.
And like would have saved a lot of money and a lot of time. So yeah,
You're making up for it.
I'm trying to make up for it. But yeah, there's definitely a part of me that's like, man, I wish I would have just like got into some business, you know, and just like bet on myself initially instead of like relied on some company to pay me forever, which that's just not the case. Like I didn't mention this, but like during that COVID time where I was managing all these people and double timing, all my staff got fired. I had me and one other guy. That's it out of everyone for a while. And so it opened my eyes and it was like, okay, they actually don't really care about me. Like it's a huge company. Like they're going to do what they need to do. So that's another thing that kind of gave me clarity of like, I need to bet on myself and trust myself that I can go provide for my family in some way, right? So
you've successfully, a lot of agents would like to be more involved in the investment side of real estate and haven't done so. Mm-hmm. You've done it and done it successfully, residential and commercial. Talk a little bit about how you got started there. You touched on it, but maybe go a little deeper with how big of a part that is of your focus in business and what you've learned and what other agents maybe don't understand or why they avoid it or why they never get to it successfully.
Yeah, I think, my investment path has been, I don't want to say it's lucky, but I was very, very focused on it. Like it was a huge focus, not just the brokerage. Like I wanted to do it. Like, and so I prepared for that. my first property I bought was like, it was a property down Kennedy King area, downtown. It was like a home with a carriage home set up. And, you know, I was so invested. I was running numbers. I was like looking at deals, constantly talking to investors. I was meeting with a lot of investors because I obviously wanted them as clients as well, part of the strategy, but like hearing how they underwrite deals and what they look for and how much they leverage and what they're looking at, how to exchange, right? Things like that, how to like build out a portfolio. So really what I did was like, just looked at opportunities as they came. And what a lot of investors do is when they find a deal, they try to figure out how to pay for it. So when I bought that first deal, you know, it was good. It was cash flowing. It was great. But then I was like talking to an investor. Her name's Kim. And actually, she kind of changed my entire outlook on investment real estate. I was talking to her, and she's like, "What do you want to do? Like, what is your plan? Like, you want to do this, you want to do that. Like, where are you going?" And I was like, "Well, I think what I want to do is I want to buy 20 duplexes in 3 years, and I want that to be able to cash flow my lifestyle." And she was like, "Well, why don't you just buy an apartment?" And I was like, that's when it like clicked. I was like, oh, like, yeah, that's a great idea. I could just fast track it, so to speak. And then a connection that happened, my very first client, I call him my best client because he was my first client and he made one of the best connections, referrals I've ever had. His name is Brandon. So he bought a house with me. First, I think we closed in July. So that was my first closing. And I told him, I'm like, hey, I'm looking for some apartments. Like, and I was telling every single person that I came in contact with, I was like, hey, I'm looking for an apartment complex. Do you know anyone who might have access to those?
That right there is a separator where people just are afraid to tell people, you know, I'm looking for listings, I'm looking for apartments to buy, for whatever they're looking for.
Yeah.
So many people are afraid, but didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's amazing how many people have an uncle or brother or
but you have to ask.
You have to ask. And, you know, I'm doing that in a way that's like tasteful, right? I'm not just like going around, that's the first thing I say, but it comes up and I ask. So I asked Brandon, and he's like, oh yeah, I've got one of my cousins, he's got a bunch of units and he's always looking, and I typically invest in his deals. Let me introduce you to him. And that's when I met my first partner, Jared Poff. And basically we started hunting. And I was down in Columbus, Indiana. I was hunting for a property for my actual stepbrother. And he was looking in, you know, $100,000, $150,000 range. And we looked at a property and there was a for sale by owner next door. And so I was like, oh, let me call and see what the price is and see what it looks like. So I called, it was out of his range. But I was like, well, maybe I can list this thing. So I met the owner of the property. We walked through it. He ended up saying like, hey, like I actually have a buyer. Like, I don't think I'm going to list this thing. And so I asked him, do you know anyone else looking to buy or sell? And he was like, actually, yeah, my grandpa just said he has some apartments that he wants to sell. Do you want to talk to him? And I was like, yeah. And so that's how that deal came about. I found an off-market deal through a $170,000 FSBO.
Wow.
And I had a client for it. So we get under contract, we're going through the deal, and halfway through the deal, you know, Jared's like, hey, I'm trying to get the funds here. Like, do you want to invest? And I was like, yeah, I'm in. So that's how I got my first 36 units.
Wow. And you still have those?
We do. Yep,
okay.
We do. 1 month later, after we closed, Jared was like, hey, I found 25 more units. Do you want in? And I was like, yes. So we had to figure that one out. That was kind of tough. We just spent all this money on this one deal, but sorted it out and got 25 more units. So I acquired 36 unit and a 25 unit in like 3 months. So like I said, I don't know if that was luck or if that was just like me being super intentional. But from my standpoint, I'm like, that's where I learned. I'm like, if I just ask, if I just tell everybody what I'm wanting to do, tell them what my goals are, stuff happens, you know? And that's how I've kind of like pushed my career forward. But in the investment space, that's how I got started. Was just asking everybody and telling everybody what I want.
Maybe speak to that, because you're leading. So how many are on your team right now? You and Jared have how big of a team?
Jared and I, and we have 15 agents, and we have 2 full-time staff members.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so whether it's for you or for your team members, just not being, you know, the cliche out there is don't be a secret agent, but how are you, and this is certainly a challenge, you know, I've faced over the years with Highguard, getting people comfortable with being, I talk about being a public figure. Like, you have to be comfortable to put yourself out there. You have to let the public know you're in real estate. Mm-hmm. How are you promoting people that have a lot of, whether it's introverted personalities or they're just afraid to bug their friends and family?
Yeah.
How are you helping your team learn from what you've learned?
How I coach that is a couple different ways. You know, we really encourage our agents to, you know, like set, like how many coffees and lunches can you set, right? Those are the most inexpensive meetings. If you're gonna do dinners, like that can get expensive fast, right? So how many coffees can you set? How many lunches can you set? And when you get those meetings, what is the plan? What are you trying to do? And I tell all my agents is like, if you meet with somebody and you are genuinely curious about their lives, and your whole goal is to focus on how can you add value to their life, good things are going to come for you. They're going to want to help you as well. So if they're in need of something, if they just need to talk to somebody, they're going to remember that. If they need something for their home and you can provide a vendor that you know, like, and trust, they're going to remember that, right? If their kids are doing a fundraiser and you contribute, like, they're going to remember that, whatever it is. Asking the questions, not making it about yourself ever, and just seeing how you can help that person in any way possible is how I have always gone about those meetings. And good things have come. And then typically how those meetings go is once you're doing that, eventually they're going to ask you back. And that's your platform to start telling them what your goals are and how excited you are for whatever you're doing and what you're looking for. You know, like last year, I told everybody, like, my goal was to help 40 families buy or sell, right? And so I told every single person that I met with that. I think I had over 55 coffees in January and February last year, and had some lunches thrown in there too. So, like, that's what we're kind of coaching. You know, we'll do other things too. Like, I'm sending out like a letter, like a year in review letter and a year to come type of a letter. You know, we do Christmas cards, and then like January, we'll do like a letter to all of our A-list, you know, all of our clients that we want to work with or are working with, and just let them know like what we're doing and where we want to go, and let them know we're here for them. And if they need help with anything, like, please, like, let's set something up. So
in 24, you did about 15 million, and 25 about 30 million, correct?
yes.
So that's that's a light year jump, really. And to go from 15, where you can kind of, you're hoofing it to get 15 million for most people, depending on the average sales price, to do that many transactions kind of on your own without team really helping you. And I'm sure you do have a team help you. We'll talk about that more in a minute.
Yeah.
But then to go to 30 million, I mean, that you're way busier than what you were before, and you start reaching the end of what one person can often do with the number of hours in the day. How have you made that transition? What's that look like for time and efficiency? And just in general, how did you do that? That's a major jump.
Yeah. I think a lot of it was just in the discipline that I have in my life and my business. I mean, and I have an amazing wife. I mean, that's a huge part of it. I've got 3 little kids. Like my oldest, Grace, is 8 years old. Like Amelia's 6, Theo's 5. Like Courtney is an amazing CEO of our home, and she does a great job. And a couple things. I think the discipline side of just my personality and how I was raised, and also family goal setting, like not just business goal setting, but we've implemented like a family goal setting where Courtney and I, no kids, we get away for one night. We've done 2 nights. Typically it's just 1 night and 2 days. And we just go through like what we did, celebrate the things we did, and then we look forward and we both get on the same page.
Is it a vacation or like a working vacation?
It's a working vacation. We always try to do something fun. Like we'll do a nice dinner, or we'll go out and do, like last year we went to Bottle Works.
Okay.
Got a room there. Like this year we're gonna stay at the Carmichael. Like we get a nice accommodation, but we're working like during the day.
Okay.
And we do it like during the week.
What's that work look like?
So we're sitting down, we're reviewing all our finances, investments, real estate portfolio. We're looking at what we spent. We're planning on what to spend. We're planning all of our vacations ahead of time. We're planning all our date nights ahead of time. We're trying to put stuff on the calendar for the family that we want, so we can work around it, versus like shifting and moving and like overbooking stuff.
Right.
And then just having like good communication plan for the year. A lot of it for Courtney is like,
This is like a once a year deal?
yeah, yeah, we're doing this once a year. Like usually like December, 1st of January is when we're doing it. We used to go to Vegas, and we're like, that doesn't work as well.
That's not as
Like,
conducive.
We're gonna stay local and like get stuff done. Like that's the plan.
Yeah.
And then but yeah, we're planning all of that together. And what it does for her is like it gets my vision out in a way that she understands. So when we have these times that are stressful, or we're super busy, or we have to do these things, or I have to take a call, or I need to respond to something, she understands, because we've set that expectation up front. And then, her expectations of like where I need to be and when are always met. I'm typically home for dinner at 5:30. Like rarely miss that unless there's like a kid activity or
Right.
things like that where we're eating on the run. But
That's going to start happening more and more, trust me.
it will. So we're trying, like now we know. So we're like, we need to get as many of these in as possible. So I don't overbook those. Part of my discipline too is like I get up early, I go to bed early, because there's nothing happening from like 9 o'clock on. Like nothing's happening, right? Like you can work on your systems, you can plan for the day, but like unless I'm like negotiating a deal, I'm in bed. Like I need to rest. Like I've put in all that energy all day, and if I'm not tired, I probably didn't work hard enough during the day to like get that. That's my mindset. It's not everybody, but like for me, if I'm not tired, it's like maybe I didn't maximize my energy for that day. So I'm like up super early, getting some peace and quiet, getting to the gym, and then I'm like shower to the office. Like that's the plan. And that's what I've done forever.
So in going from 15 to 30, what did you do to make that happen?
So I doubled down on everything that I was doing well. Part of, 15-ish% of my business is Zillow. The rest of it are investors that I've worked with and Sphere clients. So
What percentage of your business is investment?
this year, so I need to suss that out. I don't know the exact number on that. I probably did like 10 investment deals
Okay.
over the years. And
And how many transactions total?
it'll be
Ballpark?
about 60.
Okay.
Yeah. So something like that.
Okay. So it's not a huge, it's not, it's
It's not a big-
significant, but not the massive part.
No. But basically that's what I did is I doubled down on my activities, and and from my perspective, like reflecting on the year, I think I just got better at what I was doing. Like I really focused, like we did, we're doing role play activities. I never did that ever. I'm getting good at listing presentations. I mean, it's kind of sick to go back and think like how many listings I lost because it wasn't a good presentation. Like it just wasn't. Or I didn't know like how to handle that listing. Really, like I just didn't. So I've kind of just like sharpened my skills, doubled down on activities in terms of prospecting and meetings, and really tried to meet new people, right, as much as humanly possible. So that's what I've done this year, and I think just it's my 5th year in business. Like a lot of that's starting to compound, and so you're kind of on my trajectory. It's just kind of like stepping up, and so that's how my business has gone. I feel like I've done a good job retaining the clients I have, right? So,
You got to 30 million fast, like 2020, and just kind of getting started in 2020, all the way to from 15 and 24 to 30 in 2025. What's your goal for 2026?
It's not to sell 30 million.
Okay.
Yeah, I think with my goals, I want to expand the team. I want to focus on that. And to do that, Jared and I can't sell 30 million each. Like we just can't.
Can't do it all.
No, you can't do it all. So we've realized that we're going to give a lot more opportunities to the team. And we're going to strategically take business that makes sense.
Right.
Up until now, I've taken everything that's come my way. Pretty much. We will give agents on our team leads based on merit. But in reality, maybe that's not that many. So we need to really be focused on how do we grow the team, give ourselves time to inject more energy to the team, maybe even like plan what we want to do. Like our goals for the team, we want to be doing 1,000 transactions and have 100 agents in our organization in 3 years.
Okay.
And so to do, like right now, we're going to do about, I think, 225 transactions.
Okay.
So that's a lot of growth.
That's a jump.
It's a big jump. So I think our focus is like, how do we do that? And it's not selling more, it's not doing more deals.
Right.
Personally.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Okay. So what other goals do you have for 2026 that are important to you?
I think what I've done the past 2 years is and I'm pretty proud of it. Like I've made every single kid's activity that we've had scheduled, which is just amazing. Like that's something that I didn't have in my previous life, and I'm just not willing to sacrifice in this new life. And so that's obviously another goal. This year I set goals of like giving more, and I crushed that goal. I think I aimed way too low on that goal. So I'm gonna, I met an agent yesterday. His name's Troy Dixon. Like he's given like $500,000 to this amazing organization throughout his entire career.
Wow.
In real estate. And he's been in 12 years. I'm like,
wow.
What? Like,
good for him.
I've never heard that. And I'm like, okay, I think I'm setting my goal too low. Like, that's amazing. So that's important to me. We bought a commercial building this year. This was my first office building purchase. And I really like that. And so that's on the list for next year. And then we have a couple business opportunities that we're kind of working through that are going to help the team that I want to really focus on and get off the ground. So those are kind of what I'm aiming for next year.
Okay.
Just as it stands. Until we have that meeting, things can change. So once we lock it in, it's locked in. So
it's a particular skill set to be a great realtor. It's an altogether different skill set to be a great leader. And so how has that transition been for you, or your growth as your own guy to leading a team of 15 and maybe at some point here in the next 3 years, 100 agents. Tell me about the skills you've been developing to get there.
Yeah, that's something a lot of folks don't think about, I think, is like, who are you and why do people want to follow you? I know when I was managing some people, I was horrible. I was not maybe it's because I was too busy, but that's probably just an excuse. Like, I never really focused on my people. I was just focused on like making sure the clinic was running well. Like, I never really spent time with those people to understand them better. And so that's what I really like to do now, is like spend time with all of our agents to understand like who they are, what they want to do, what their goals are, what pain points they have, and how can I add value to them, just like a client. Because those are going to be kind of my new clients, right? If I'm starting a team, it's like a client. Like, you need to take care of them, right?
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's my focus, is making sure that I lead by example, and I'm holding myself to a standard that I think is acceptable, and showing those agents like this is how being a really good real estate agent looks like, and being there when they need you. I think that's the biggest thing is when they reach out and they have an issue and you can help them solve it. Like, they're gonna remember that.
What do you view as your strengths, as maybe as a realtor, maybe as a leader, maybe as a person? But tell me about your strengths.
We were joking earlier, like, one of my superpowers is sleep. So
that is a good strength to have.
I can literally, if I want to sleep, I'm going to sleep. Like, that is something that's very important to me, is getting enough rest so I can be at my fullest for the people I am working with. I think another thing is like, I can be hyper focused. Like, when I want something or I set a goal, and then my process is I will set goals and then I will like tell everyone. Like, I am pretty open about what I want to do.
Okay.
And if I do that, like, it has to happen. Like, that is going to happen. I will figure that out. So maybe it's like problem solver is my strength. Like, I will sort out how to make this thing happen, whatever it takes. I won't sacrifice family time, but I will go for it with all my energy until it happens. I think that's probably my biggest strength. Like, like when I was growing up, like there was a couple times where I like severely failed. Like I remember 5th grade basketball team. I had just moved to Indiana like a couple years ago. And I was on the East Coast, so like hockey was the thing.
We take basketball seriously here.
Yeah, I know.
If you didn't start in kindergarten, you're way behind.
I was so behind. And I really wanted to play with my friends. And so I did not make my 5th grade basketball team. After that, for an entire year, all I did after school was play basketball. Like, literally every single day. Didn't matter what temperature it was, like, I would find a way to play. Shooting in the, just like working on my shot on the couch, literally dribbling all the time. Like, I was shooting hoops constantly, and then made it in 6th grade. Then, I kind of got out of basketball, still playing hockey, but then I wanted to make the golf team. I played in middle school, did pretty well. Then I tore my ACL playing hockey. And so freshman year of golf tryouts, I was like 3 months out of ACL surgery.
Oof.
Or yeah, it was like it wasn't very long. Like, I got it in December and it was like a March tryout. So didn't make the team. Like, I was really close. But literally every single day from freshman year tryout to the next tryout, I played golf somehow. Like, I would, they had like this indoor simulator that I would go to, like, constantly putting in my house, chipping in my house. My parents probably hated it. Like, but I just played every day. Sophomore year, made the team. So I was like, And then, like I mentioned in school, like I wanted to get into the medical field, so that's all I cared about. So I am like,
Are you obsessive?
yeah, and I've talked about that recently with Jared and Courtney. Is like, I think becoming obsessed with your business is something that you need to do, no matter what the goal is. But you need to put your energy and focus and obsession into that, whatever it is. And if you do that, you're going to do well, whatever that goal is. You know, like we have agents that come to the team that don't want to sell 30 million. You know, they want to sell whatever, 1 deal a month, 2 deals a month, whatever it is, 3
Sure.
deals. And whatever that goal is, if you become obsessed with it and you put a plan together and you create extreme clarity and you can see the path, and then all your energy is going into executing that path, like you're going to succeed, in my opinion. I think there's enough opportunity out there for most people to do that if they want it. You know.
So maybe getting a little vulnerable here. What about weaknesses?
Yeah, I think patience is my weakness, which I am always working on, and I feel like I've become much better at. Growing up, patience was not a strength of mine. Like if something wasn't happening when I wanted it to happen, it was not good. And getting into this business, learning that lack of patience can actually be a weakness. It is a weakness, especially when you get into the commercial space. You just lose all your leverage if you seem like you want it too much, or you're too antsy about a deal, or you're too aggressive with communications. Like they're going to eat you alive.
With new agents, I often talk about you need to be patiently impatient, or actually I usually say impatiently patient. Either way,
Yes.
It doesn't matter. You have to have both.
I like that.
That sense of urgency, the grit and the grind that you're talking about to make the 6th grade basketball team, to make golf, to build your business. Those things don't happen overnight.
Right.
But you have to understand there's a long run here.
100%.
But you have to mix in that grit and impatience with the understanding of a bigger picture patience.
Yeah. No, I like that a lot. Like I think a lot of that is like just believing in what you're doing. And if you do that, that's helped me, is like with my patience, is like if I believe in the path I'm going on, I know the activities I'm doing today are going to help, the pain that I'm experiencing today is going to help me get what I want in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but even on a granular, like in a deal,
Yeah.
I think that being patiently impatient, like you having urgency within yourself, but then being very conscious about how you respond to another agent, to a client, to whoever's you're talking to in the transaction, is so important. Like you can't just wing. It's the worst if you go and just like say something or respond quickly, and you're like, why did I say that? Didn't want to say that.
Yeah.
That's the worst feeling.
Yeah.
So I like that patient. What was it again?
I think impatiently patient.
Impatiently patient.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Because it really describes, in my mind at least, what it takes.
Yeah.
Which takes a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Any other weaknesses you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a weakness. I feel like it's every single day that I get up, don't want to go to the gym. Every single day I'm like, I want to go eat that amazing cookie that was just sitting on the table. I want, every day I'm like, I just want to stay up and watch this documentary or whatever. Like,
I'm not sure this is a weakness.
I don't think it's a
What I would
weakness.
say is it's a strength. You have discipline more than the average. Let's change the subject a little bit. We don't
Sure.
need to talk about
Yeah.
any bad qualities here, but one of the
We
reasons
can.
why I'm going to start asking this question, I've decided that I'm going to start asking about strengths and weaknesses. So anybody that wants to be on this show,
Mhm.
be ready for it. And the reason why is, to me, and I've said, maybe getting vulnerable here, I do feel like people have felt comfortable opening up and talking about and you have, of course, as well, about their personal life and about really what's going on behind the scenes. I mean, we can talk about transactions, we can talk about inspection reports, but it's a little boring, honestly, for me and maybe for the people watching. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I've talked about that plenty on here,
Mm-hmm.
but really what makes people tick is what
Mm-hmm.
is exciting. And to see like, okay, here's someone who's at a young age and a young in real estate prove themselves to be successful. What's going on behind the scenes that's helped drive that? Your sense of urgency, your grit, and your desire to really, it's the discipline. That's kind of where I want to bring up something that I've been talking about a lot lately, which is within real estate, you have to really figure out whether it's what parts of real estate pull you through your desire, like what you want, what you enjoy doing. There's a lot of things about real estate, particularly with prospecting, that people hate. And so you have to find within that what desire you have, how you enjoy having coffees and getting to know people, adding value, which is wonderful. Or if you don't have that natural love for that part of it, then where is your discipline to do what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it?
Yes.
What you're saying is, and what I see is, while you do enjoy the game, so to speak, you have a lot of discipline for doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it. Maybe you can speak to that desire versus discipline for you in real estate.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, I think for me, I just have this two things. I think it all starts with how I'm preparing for the year and what my mindset is and where I'm heading and where I want to go. And when I set those goals, we're not just like coming up with these ideas and then just like putting them on paper and then just like, okay, let's see if it happens. Like, I'm literally with my partner, we're going through all these things and we're writing out, okay, if we accomplish this goal, how is this going to change our lives? If we do not accomplish this goal, how is this going to affect our lives? For every single goal. So we're like ingraining this in our mind and putting it towards the forefront of our mind. Then we're creating a vision board and it's on my desktop. It's in a Google Doc every day and I can see it and I understand like where I'm going to go. So like, yeah, when you brought up weakness, well, another thing that comes to mind is like, this is why I partnered with Jared kind of is like, I don't like looking at spreadsheets. I don't like looking at all the numbers. That is something I just have to like do. Like I have to force myself to do it.
Yeah.
And the only way I can do it is be like, okay, here's our goal. I need to know where we're at. Okay, I'm going to pull, 3 p.m. and I don't have anything going on. Like, okay, I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to look at that. Where are we at? And then I'm going to, Jared and I are going to have our meeting and I'll know where we're at.
Right.
So I kind of leverage that weakness, I guess.
Yeah. No, I mean, I have 2 partners and I can't really imagine life without partners because there's parts that they are way better at than I am.
Yeah.
And I know there's things that I excel at too. So, I mean, maybe speak a little bit about having a partner and what that's done for you, how it's really helped you maximize your own abilities.
I mean, it's been awesome. It's the best thing I've ever done besides get married and have children. Like having a good partner is so hard to find.
I agree.
It's so hard.
Trust.
Yeah. And just like being on the same page or like getting challenged on stuff, like it's awesome. If you have somebody that's there and we're going to go do this together, all in for everything, like it's amazing. And so it's been really good. We've been doing this about 2 years now. And Jared said it the other day, like we were talking about these things we want to do. And I'm like, yeah, if 2 out of 3 happen, it'll be great. He was like, yeah, I think we're going to do all 3. Like nothing we've done together hasn't succeeded. And I was like, that's why we're partners.
Yeah.
Like, why not? They should all happen, right? If we want them to happen, we're going to try to make that happen. So yeah, it's been really good. We haven't gone through like any difficult times yet. So I don't have a lot to speak on there yet. I'm sure it's going to happen. it has to, right? It's impossible not to, but so far, like, it's been really good on the investment side, the business side, just the friendship side. It's all been amazing. So, yeah.
What do you think 2026 looks like to you? Now, I don't mean for you and your business, but tell me a little bit about a lot of people would love to have a crystal ball and understand what's going to happen in real estate. But if you're just sitting here and we were having a couple of beers and we were talking about real estate, what would your outlook be for the market in general?
I think, and this is what I've done almost every year, is it's not that I don't care. It's just I am going to plan for whatever it's bringing. So, whatever the market brings, there's going to be pain, there's going to be opportunities, like always, most of the time. Like, there's maybe some times in recent history where it wasn't like that, but like a normal market, there's going to be opportunities where you can go get business. And I think part of our job as brokers is sorting that out, like seeing, looking at the market and understanding, like, where are you going to go get your business? Is it sellers? Is it buyers? Is it investors? Is it foreclosures? Usually there's going to be business going on in one of those categories, correct? Or multiple. But from my standpoint, I think if you're an agent and you're not doing enough business that you want to do, going and attacking some specific niches of clientele is probably what you need to do. And from what I see, it's like expireds and FSBOs pretty good. There's a lot of competition there, but there's probably going to be some of that going on. I think probates and divorce and pre-foreclosures, those are going to probably be decent categories to look at if you are looking for business. There's just some pain in the economy right now. It's tough. It's expensive. Yeah. Everything's expensive.
It is.
It's harder to get approved. It's harder to get what you want. We'll see. I don't know what your thoughts are, but maybe there's going to be more step-down buyers. It looks like, at least from the data I'm seeing, is like equity is pretty good. Like,
yeah.
A lot of folks have a good amount of equity in their homes. And so that's great. So maybe there's opportunity for that. And we're targeting like new construction a lot too.
Okay.
Like that's something we're trying to get our buyers into, is like a new home where they can get an amazing rate and it's less maintenance, and you kind of add it all up and like, okay, insurance is less, like you kind of add, taxes are less, you add that all up and maybe it's a better fit now, right, for somebody, but targeting the people that have to transact. Like that's what you want to be doing if you're not getting enough business. Yeah.
I think with step down buyers, the issue right now is we have, with the way prices have jumped since 2020, is you're stepping down and maybe keep paying the same price or the higher payment.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. That's why we're kind of frozen.
Right.
And that's where it would be nice if rates came down to kind of help people bridge that gap of, I don't have to pay more for a worse house.
Yeah. Yep.
How that evolves and changes, it's going to be, and it has been a very slow thawing of that frozen market that, we're having. The resale market, where we've been bouncing around for 3.5 years now at the lowest levels really in modern history. Yet you're still being successful and you are finding those gaps and you're looking for the opportunities and doing a wonderful job of it. I would like to ask, what kind of music do you like to listen to? Because it's important to me.
Yeah. That's great. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not a big music buff.
Okay.
I'm not. The last concert I went to, I went with my wife and Grace. We went to Benson Boone.
Is that a country guy?
No,
I don't know Benson Boone.
He's like a pop rock guy.
Okay, I don't know him.
It's not, I don't know, maybe it's my age group or not, but we went to his concert at White River like a year or two ago.
Okay.
And then he kind of like blew up, And after that concert, I went with my buddy and his wife and Courtney. So it was like 4 of us.
Okay.
And I think we even got like free tickets from somebody. And we're like, there are so many like little kids here, but we were like, we like it. Like it
was fun.
Yeah, like he's
Live music's the best.
Yeah, and we were like, we kind of like that. We're like, that was pretty good. And then so we listened to it a little bit with Grace, and she loves it. So we're like, we took her to her first concert in Columbus, Ohio, with Benson Boone. So I'll listen to some Benson Boone.
All right.
Yeah,
that's cool. So if you're not listening to music all that often, what are you listening to? What kind of podcasts? I'm assuming you're listening to some podcasts.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. A variety. So I'll listen to All In podcast.
Oh yeah.
You like All In?
Yep.
Yeah. That's every week I'm listening to that. I'll listen to like real estate wise. I'll listen to a guy named Joshua Smith. It's called a GSD Mode podcast.
Mm-hmm. I have that one.
Okay.
I subscribe to like over 300.
Okay.
Probably
Nice.
20 real estate ones. So yeah, GSD.
I like his because it's like short and sweet, and so I'll do that like in the morning sometimes.
Okay.
And it gets me ideas like for the team too, so I like that. And then I'll listen to like Andrew Huberman, like on the health side.
Love him.
I like him, just thinking through things like health wise. I think I'm gonna be 38. Like I'm just starting to think more
You're
about
getting
my
old, man.
health. I know. Oh my God.
I wouldn't go that far.
Gray in my beard. Like,
That's true. You do have a little.
I know. And so I'm like, I need to be as healthy as I can.
Well, it sounds to me like you're keeping yourself pretty damn healthy.
Trying. It's hard.
So you work out every morning?
Pretty
Or,
much.
often?
Pretty much. I've been getting more injuries lately. So I've
Oh,
been,
really?
Yeah.
Like what?
Like just random stuff. Like I'll be working out and pull my calf, or working out and like mess my shoulder. So like I'm really trying to like do a little bit more of that type of like rehabby type stuff to like keep myself in the game and not go crazy in the gym and just take it easy sometimes. But yeah, so yeah, I'm trying to be good about that. I think that's a focus right now.
Wow.
Just being healthy.
There's nothing more important. Health is what they always say, but health is one of those things that you don't realize it's important until you don't have it.
Exactly.
But you're thinking ahead, as you always do. And Kyle, really, it's been amazing to watch you grow, and from the person I met 4 or 5 years ago to today, it's impressive, and I have no doubt you're going to reach those goals. And if I can do anything to help, I certainly would.
Appreciate
Thank you
that.
for sitting down with me, Kyle.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, thanks, Steve.